Hello and welcome back to the FPL Tom YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be running through my Matchday 2 team selection ahead of UCL Game Week 2, and I have activated my Limitless chip. We're going to talk through why I've activated the chip and looking at my team. But first, let's start off with how my team got on, of course, in Game Week 1. We went pretty much for the approach of just using Game Week 1 as a kind of like free hit. We were going to wildcard out of it or potentially play the Limitless chip. It didn't quite go to plan. It really didn't. I don't think Olympiacos turned up. Benfica definitely didn't turn up. And the sporting players that we selected, we just selected the wrong ones. Obviously, the cheap 4 million defender absolutely smashed it out the park with 2 assists. Trincao got a 17-pointer compared to Pedro's 4-pointer. Luis Suarez only got, I think, like awarded for a penalty and didn't get any goal involvement. So it was really frustrating, to be honest. And I think, you know, on another week, this team absolutely cooks if we pick the right players. Like if pretty much we got that 17-pointer, we got the 10-pointer from the defender, I think we're probably looking at a really good week. However, using this week and probably having to use our chips very early doors hasn't really worked in our favour, to be honest. So, you know, the games didn't really go to plan. But there were some good picks in there. Having Salah was definitely a massive bonus. So, yeah, that was great to see. Of course, as well, Kylian Mbappe captain in the first day meant that we didn't really have to switch off him. Was very easy to do. But I think a lot of the kind of, you know, non-picks on like kind of the Game Week 1 free hit worked really well. And that probably didn't go into our favour as well. There was a few penalty takers in there as well that, you know, didn't get penalties, like Vitinha and Luis Suarez were apparently the penalty takers for their sides. Didn't get awarded the penalties, which was really frustrating again. Could have just been a better week overall. I think, you know, I still think if I was in the same position, I would have done it all over again. It kind of just 1 or 2 different picks definitely would have put us right on the trajectory. But we're going again with the Limitless for Match Day 2. We're solely focusing on Match Day 2. So let's go take a look at some data. Okay, so let's take a look at some data for the next few weeks. This data is provided by FPL Shannon. If, of course, you want to go and check it out for yourself, I will leave a link to his Patreon in the description. It's really good stuff. Helped me out massively in Match Day 1. And I think, obviously, like if you like myself, you're looking at Match Day 2 potentially as a Limitless or a wildcard week. He does have a projected points model as well, which, again, was really useful to kind of help me identify potentially some hidden gems within the game as well. So I'd really, like I said, go and check it out. I'll leave a link in the description. Some great work. This is obviously the Matchday 1 team projections. He hasn't posted the Matchday 2 team projections, but he will before the deadline, I imagine. So let's take a look at Matchday 2 just solely for my team then. Obviously, the teams that I want to be targeting for those defensive points is going to be Arsenal. Napoli's not too bad as well with 0.51. We've got Bayern Munich with 0.57. Inter with 0.50 as well. Definitely a team I really want to be kind of taking a look at. Real Madrid as well with 0.58. So there's a good selection of teams, I would say, there already off the bat that I know I want to, of course, look to invest in. I think, obviously, we've got some pretty strong defences across the board there. In terms of Europe, obviously Arsenal being one of the best and most prolific defences kind of in European football right now. Bayern as well, pretty solid defence. Madrid as well. Did obviously come off the back of a 5-2 loss in the Madrid derby, but I still think with their opposition this week, they're going to be still a great defence to, of course, invest in overall. Taking a look then at the projected goal numbers, Again, there's going to be a link in the description if you want to go and check it out. Looking at Match Day 2, again, it was all around that Real Madrid is why I kind of activated the Limitless. I was looking at maybe a wild card in Match Day 2, and I was just looking at the numbers and I was going, do I really want to be holding like 2 Madrid players? Probably not longer term with some more difficult fixtures coming up. I'd like to, of course, look at some Barca players in Match Day 3 and Match Day 4 as well. They've also got decent fixtures in 6 and 8. But with Rafinha being out, Yamal not back in the squad yet either, those feel like maybe after the international break, when the next round resumes, on my wildcard, I can go and get them, go and get these good fixtures as well, and of course take that forward with me. Same goes with Bayern Munich players. I would like them for the next 2, but again, longer term, there's some more difficult fixtures coming up, so maybe activating the Limitless this week is going to make a little bit more sense with our side as well. I also looked at Chelsea's numbers. I think somebody like Cole Palmer could be a very interesting asset. But again, with him out for Match Day 2 and maybe being back after the international break, the wildcard in 3 is just looking like a more kind of optimal play in my personal opinion. So with, of course, us being on the Limitless for Match Day 2, we're just going to be focusing solely on this week. Again, we're seeing Bayern Munich on that list. So Harry Kane, Michael Olise, Diaz, all going to be definitely good options for this week. City's numbers are a little bit low, but I still think Haaland, Foden could definitely be great shouts. Liverpool as well, you've obviously got Mohamed Salah. I know he's not had like the best start to Premier League football, was great in matchday 1 in the Champions League, picking up a 10-pointer, so I don't mind him too much. Real Madrid, obviously the big key standout fixture this week with the easiest opponent. I think some bookmakers have got them priced at currently like 20-1. Again, I think we fully need to be taking advantage of that. If Sporting can go and demolish them, what can a Real Madrid side go and do is kind of my context. It is a away fixture, so it does make it a little bit more difficult, but still, I think it's definitely worth investing in. Chelsea, I think maybe picks like Enzo Fernandez with him being on penalties could be a really interesting shout. If people are looking for maybe a wild card pick with some good fixtures coming up, or of course, like I said, if you're on the Limitless like myself, you know, it is going to be those weeks where maybe this could be potentially a week we kind of want to look to go for it. I know a lot of people were looking at a Matchday 5 Limitless, and I definitely still do feel that is a very viable option. However, with the team that I am planning on building with my wild card in Matchday 3, I do feel like I can probably navigate around it. I think we probably can pick up some Napoli players on that week. We can probably, you know, look to sell off our Inter players in Matchday 3. Liverpool, I'm pretty happy with Mohamed Salah anyway, so we're probably going to be with him. Obviously, I spoke about the Barca players. Again, we can probably just navigate around Matchday 5 anyway, and the only real kind of standout fixtures that I'd want to maybe have a player in is probably like the Copenhagen game, but again, just for 1 week to activate a Limitless chip doesn't feel like the most optimal play in my opinion, and that is why I have selected Matchday 2 as the week to go and activate the Limitless. Like I said, if you want to go and take a look at any of the data that has been provided here, there will be a link in the description to, of course, go and get it. The projected points model is out for Matchday 2 and beyond as well, so I'd highly recommend you guys go and take a look at that. Okay, if you do enjoy any of the UCL content that you see on the channel, by the way, guys, make sure you are hitting that like button so I know to produce more, and of course hitting that subscribe button so you will be notified when, of course, my videos do go live for UCL Fantasy. Let's take a look then at the goalkeepers we've got. We've got Oblak and Raya. I'm not really too big a fan of any of the goalkeepers playing on the 30th of September. There doesn't really seem like any kind of standout picks, so we've gone with Oblak. Budget, of course, is no issue. Maybe when the betting data is, of course, released, we'll have a look who has the best clean sheet odds, and that will probably be my goalkeeper selection for the 30th. Our other goalkeeper is going to be David Raya. Again, we saw from the data model provided that, you know, Arsenal's numbers are looking absolutely stupendous and definitely something I want to invest into. And I think Raya is probably going to just be that guy that I think is just going to play the Champions League game. He just is, isn't he? Maybe some of the other kind of, you know, fullbacks or centre-backs might potentially get rested, but at least if I want some easy way into that Arsenal defence, I think David Raya is definitely going to provide that. Let's head into then the list of defenders that we've got here. So we've got Denzel Dumfries and Bastoni. Of course, Inter Milan up against Slavia Prague, one of the best fixtures this week to be targeting. Of course, people that went, you know, non kind of free hit route in game week 1 probably already loaded up on Inter, but with our Limitless as well, again, it just feels like an absolutely fantastic fixture to, of course, be targeting with this week. I think there was like a 50 or a 0.50 projection on the model we just ran through as well, so it is looking very, very good. Bastoni's purely going to be there for more the ball recovery side, has some attacking potential, but it is Denzel Dumfries that is just an absolute machine. And I watched the last game against Ajax pretty much with my, you know, hands in a cushion, just trying to hide behind what Denzel Dumfries was capable of, because he is honestly an absolutely fantastic and wonderful fullback to watch. And of course, with us having no budget requirements, he very easily does just, of course, slot straight within our side. We've gone for Upamecano as well. Paphos, yeah, I watched their whole game against Olympiacos. I don't think they're going to be scoring much across this this Champions League campaign. So I do think it is probably going to be a pretty settled clean sheet. And again, one of their key features of the game and why I went for an Olympiacos defender is they were pretty much just sat so deep that they were just lumping the ball up. And if you've seen in the last section, I can't remember the guy's name, it was maybe like Pesos or something from Olympiacos. He managed to absolutely smash it for me. He managed to pick up 9. He was a threat from set pieces. But the main reason he actually picked up a lot of his points was just purely down to recoveries, because all Paphos were doing were just lumping the ball. Now, I know they were down to 10, but even before they went down to 10, it was a very similar pattern of the game. They were sat in deep, lumping the ball forward, and I think that's going to be a very similar kind of case. And Upamecano is probably going to just be at the back, recovering the ball when they boot it away, and just getting those recoveries. So I really like that. The next defender is going to be from Real Madrid. Obviously, there's quite a few options here. I think you potentially could maybe look at Militao or Dean Huijsen. Like, there's so many good options that you could have within this. But again, with budget not really being a requirement, and I would probably say Caracas has been their best player at the start of this campaign. Like, just looking at the numbers that he's been producing, no attacking returns yet so far in La Liga, but the numbers are looking very, very good. So for 5 million, feels like a pretty steady investment to a defence that has one of the best projected chances of a clean sheet for match day 2. Finally, it is going to be Gabriel. Like I said, that Arsenal defence is just absolutely locked for me in my eyes. I really want a slice of both of those pies. So Gabriel and David Raya just feel like really easy selections as well. Gabriel still has that little bit of set piece threat, of course. Like, we all know that Arsenal are very, very meticulous with their set pieces. But again, I imagine Olympiacos are just going to come and sit in. So again, could be a game where he just managed to rack up ball recoveries because, like I said, the ball's just literally being booted up by Olympiacos and he's just simply recovering them. Let's head into the midfield then. We're going to have Mohamed Salah. Not been the greatest start in terms of the Premier League for, you know, kind of him and Liverpool's performances. Their points have definitely been there, but the performances have been very, very underwhelming. It doesn't seem like they're at the same kind of level they were last season in terms of their kind of like overall attacking fluidity. However, Salah in that Atletico Madrid game purely to me showed what he is capable of, and like maybe this season it's going to be more Champions League where he's going to be the best, and in the Premier League he's maybe going to be a bit, you know, kind of not worth his price tag. But for 10.5 to get a player that I know is probably going to play the full 90 against a Galatasaray side that, you know, is definitely targetable, definitely a good fixture. We saw that with the projected goal numbers. So getting a guy that's 90 minutes, penalties, yeah, sign me up. I'm all for that. Vinny has had a pretty mixed start. A lot of Real Madrid fans not too happy with his performance. Obviously benched in game week 1 as well. 4 goals, 3 assists for him so far this season. Again, the beauty of the Real Madrid picks is we are going to see the lineup. So if he isn't playing, we do have the options to maybe go for like a Bellingham or a Goulet. Again, he's having a pretty decent season. 3 goals, 3 assists for him. So we've got that ability to, of course, take a look if we want to look at alternative avenues for points as well, with us having the option to, of course, select whoever we want. Michael Elise, yep, I mean, got an assist at the weekend. The guy just feels like, yeah, it's a very easy pick, that one, with, of course, the opponents. I don't think I probably need to explain too much. Again, Paphos didn't look great. I think, you know, Daniel Podence, again, I'm very, very familiar with how Paphos are probably going to play this game. And Daniel Podence, who plays for Olympiacos, was getting in some really good positions, but it was kind of like that last little bit, he would try and do a little bit too much. Whereas I feel Michael Elise is such a kind of smarter and more kind of, you know, better footballer overall generally, that I think he's probably going to have a lot of the beating of these guys and probably going to get a lot of room down either side to really attack. Çalhanoğlu is a pick I really, really like. I'm gutted I didn't go with him in game week 1. He takes free kicks, he takes corners, he takes penalties. The guy plays very, very good minutes as well, so fits that talisman profile that I always look for within fantasy games. Bukayo Saka as well. I am filming this before Arsenal have taken place against Newcastle, so if he doesn't feature, picks up an injury, whatever, then of course I probably will look for other alternative replacements. I think the other one that I did have selected when I put a tweet out earlier, kind of like last night, was going to be Phil Foden. Again, I just need somebody that is going to be playing on the first. A lot of our team is, of course, playing on the 30th. I do feel there's probably a lot more of the kind of targetable fixtures with the Limitless on the 30th rather than the 1st. So Saka's in there for now. Again, could very easily become Phil Foden as a placeholder if Saka doesn't even look good, or maybe his minutes are a little bit of a doubt potentially heading into this week. Our front three, it is obviously going to be fully utilising the Limitless unlimited budget here. We've got Kane, Mbappe and Erling Haaland. Arguably the 3 best strikers within Europe right now. Kane, I think, is like the fastest player to hit 100 goals, like in a foreign league or something like that. Like, he's racked it up really, really quick. He's been smashing them out the park. Again, I feel like he could just be a great, you know, pick. Unfortunately, he's not going to probably be the captaincy option. It is going to be Kylian Mbappe, with, of course, them playing against the worst team in the Champions League this year. So that probably does dampen him a little bit, but still having Harry Kane available when most I feel probably won't, will feel really, really good. And a pick that is just absolutely cracking at the start of every single season and always does very well against kind of these minnow sides. He always managed to pick up kind of a few goals as well. I remember, I think it was against Bratislava last season. Absolutely smashed it out of the park with a hat-trick, and I had him captain, so that was very, very nice to see. Mbappe, like I said, explains himself in absolutely great form. 8 goals, 1 assist at the start of this season. Same with Erling Haaland. He's been absolutely thumping the goals in to this weekend against Burnley. They've got Monaco, and again, gives me a captaincy option if, of course, Mbappe, or if we decide to go for Harry Kane, does fail on the first day. Erling Haaland, very easy captain. Again, probably going to play very good minutes. Penalties in the form, like, you know, genuinely probably some of the best form we've seen from Erling Haaland in a long time. So, yeah, I think that front three probably picks itself quite easily. Let me know what you think of this Limitless team. Is there any potential players that I have missed out? Let me know in the comments section. Of course, if you've got any questions about your UCL team, whether you're on Wildcard, Limitless, or just looking to use your transfers, get them in, as I'll try to answer as many as I possibly can. But thank you for watching today, ladies and gentlemen, and good luck in match day 2.